Hello everyone. In this session, we are going to solve a numerical which will help us to understand the application of one-dimensional heat conduction equation to the case of plane wall when temperatures are specified. So, the problem statement for this numerical problem is specified in the description. You should read that first before approaching the solution. So, we will first write down the given things in the problem. So, the given things are like this. Because of given things, we will sort down the data which has been given to us. So the first temperature T1 which has been given to us, it is 180 degree Celsius. The second temperature which is given, it is equal to 120 degree Celsius. Then conductivity of the material of the wall, it is 45 watt per meter Kelvin. Then heat generation rate, volumetric heat generation rate, it is equal to 8 into 10 raised to 6 watt per unit volume or per meter cube. Also, the thickness of the wall is given to us and it is equal to 10 centimeter, it is equal to 0.1 meter. To help with the understanding, I will draw a simple schematic diagram as we always try to do in the solution of the problems. So this is the L which has been specified, which has been given to us. This is the T1 on the left face, this is the T2 on the right face. G and K, these are there. So now we will understand how to approach this problem. We already know the expression for temperature distribution in the wall. So firstly we will try to solve that. So the temperature distribution in the wall is given as we know, it is equal to Tx, which is equal to minus Gx square upon 2k plus C1x plus C2. If we want to determine this entire equation or expression for this given case, then we need to substitute the boundary conditions. So which are the boundary conditions which are given to us? If we observe, actually this is the starting point of our coordinate system. This is the origin of our coordinate system. So this is x is equal to 0 and this is x is equal to L. This one is nothing but left face and this one is nothing but the right face, as we will call it. All right, so this T1, it is given 180 degrees Celsius, T2 is 120 degrees Celsius. So this diagram helps us to finalize our boundary conditions. So what do we see here? We apply first boundary condition, that is at x is equal to 0, temperature at that location x is nothing but 180 degree Celsius. So we will substitute this value over here so that we can get the value of C2. This is one equation, only one unknown can be determined. So that's why Tx, which is now 180 degrees Celsius, it will be equal to, I will not write the value of G and K because anyways this X is going to be 0. So minus G multiplied by 0 divided by 2k plus C1 multiplied by x is still 0 plus C2. So ultimately what do we get? C2 is nothing but 180. This is the answer that we get for C2. So we have determined the first constant of integration. Now we will move on to solving the second constant of integration using the second boundary condition. What is the second boundary condition? We observe that on the right face of the wall, that is at x is equal to L, we get the second temperature. So we can write mathematically at x is equal to L, this Tx is equal to 120 degree Celsius. We can back substitute this value in the equation of temperature distribution. So what do we get? On the left hand side we have 120 is equal to, now I will write down the value of Gk because now x is not 0. Why? Because x is in this case 0.1 meter as it was given in the problem statement itself. It is not 0. So we will move on. So my minus this 8 into 10 raised to 6, which is the given value of g, x square, so this will be 0.1, I'm sorry, 0.1 bracket square divided by 2 into 45 plus c1 multiplied by x. So that's why this will be c1 multiplied by 0.1 plus c2 is now known to us. So it is equal to 180. So now I can perform this calculation. I will request you to perform this calculation in your calculator and get the answer. The answer will be C1 is equal to 8288.89. This will be the value of C1. So now out of the given general equation, we have the value of C1, we have the value of C2, and that's why we have obtained the expression for temperature distribution, because with the help of this we can determine temperature at any location. So now we can write down the final answer for temperature distribution. Hence we can write this final answer. So Tx is equal to, I will request you to calculate this value, minus g by 2k. I have calculated that. I have this with me. You can verify with that answer. So it will be minus 88,888.89. This is the value of g by 2k. X square will remain as it is. So this will be multiplied with x square plus C1 is now known to us. So C1x will be 8288.89x plus C2 will be 180. So that's the general expression for temperature distribution in the given conditions of this plane wall. If these temperatures change or something changes, then this expression will also change. We observe the power of this equation, that only by substituting the value of x, this equation will tell me about the temperature at that particular location, and that's why this derivation was important. Okay, now we'll move on to the second part of our question. In the second part, we are supposed to determine the location and magnitude of the maximum temperature. Okay, so remember, when you are talking about the maximum temperature, for maximum temperature, because it is maximum highest possible temperature inside that domain or inside that plane wall, so for maximum temperature we can write that differentiation of that temperature with respect to x is exactly equal to 0. So it means whatever is the temperature gradient at that location, it will be exactly equal to 0. No temperature gradient can exist at the location of maximum temperature. We also have the equation for temperature gradient with us, and this equation is nothing but dt by dx is equal to minus gx by k plus c1. So because this dt by dx is going to be 0, so we can say instead of going for these complications, we will substitute the values of g, k, c1 because they are already known to us. Left hand side is anyways equal to 0. So this is equal to minus 8 into 10 raised to 6 multiplied by x divided by k is nothing but 45 plus c1 which is known to us, which is 8288.89. 8288.89. On the basis of this, you can calculate the value of x using your calculator. So the value of x that you get will be equal to 0.0466 meter. This we can consider as x max, the value of x corresponding to the maximum temperature. So we have determined the location of maximum temperature with the help of temperature gradient equation. We can also determine the magnitude of this maximum temperature, because we always write this T as Tx, and we also have the expression for temperature distribution from our previous solution. So let us substitute this value of x in that temperature distribution equation. That equation was minus 88,888.89 multiplied by x square. So x in this case is 0.0466 square plus 88.89 multiplied by x. So x is 0.0466 and plus 180, which is C2. So you please solve this, and the temperature, or this should not be only Tx, but now this will become T max, because this is the maximum possible temperature, and it will be equal to 373.02 degree Celsius. Beyond this, there will be no temperature in this entire system. So you observe that T1 is 180, T2 is 120, but Tmax is 373. This is happening because there is certain heat generation taking place inside this plane wall. Now we'll move on to the next part of the question. We are supposed to calculate the heat flow rate. The heat flow rate. So the first case in this context is the left phase. So when we are saying the left phase, which means mathematically we are talking about the location x is equal to 0. That's the first thing. Now in this case, heat is flowing because of conduction. So if we want the heat flow from the left phase, which is nothing but heat flow when x is equal to 0, conduction, that's why we can apply Fourier's law of conduction. So minus k a and dt by dx, but at x is equal to 0. So after that, we can consider this area to be unity because it has not been given. K has been specified to us. Now we need to determine this dt by dx at x is equal to 0. So what we see over here, dt by dx is minus gx by k plus c1. So at x is equal to 0, dt by dx will be exactly equal to c1 because this term will become 0. So we can say that this dt by dx at x is equal to 0 is nothing but equal to c1, which is 8288.89. So we have our values by using common sense. So k is minus 45 multiplied by area 1 dt by dx, it is equal to c1 because of physical conditions. This is not any arbitrary assumption, it is according to given conditions we have translated. So multiplied by 8288.89. You please perform this calculation. So q from the left phase at x is equal to 0, it comes out to be minus 373 point something multiplied by 10 raised to 3 watt. Actually we can also write it as watt per meter square because area is unity. So this is the heat transfer rate. Now because heat is leaving the body or that plane wall from the left side, that's why the sign is coming to be negative. Now we will calculate the heat flow rate from the right face of the wall. So heat flow rate from the right face of the wall. When we are saying right face, actually we are referring to the location, means at x is equal to L. Again the basic physics will remain same. This q is happening because of conduction, so this will be minus ka into dt by dx at x is equal to L. But now we need to determine this x is equal to L. We have the basic formula for dt by dx, so we will substitute that. So what do we get? K is minus 45, area is 1, dt by dx, as we know, minus gx by k, so plus c1, so minus 8 into 10 raised to 6. X is equal to L means we know that this is equal to 0.1. So this is minus, I will write it here for you. dt by dx is nothing but minus gx by k plus c1. So this is minus g, x is 0.1 divided by 45 plus c1 is 8288.89. So in the calculator you can solve this. On the basis of this, you get heat transfer from the right face of the wall as 427 multiplied by 10 raised to 3 watt, or we can say watt per meter square because area is unity. So that's your final answer. So in this way we have solved a numerical which involved application of one-dimensional heat conduction equation To determine temperature distribution, firstly we determined that the temperature distribution. Also we determined the maximum temperature and its location, as well as we calculated heat flow rate from various faces of the wall when pure conduction is involved. In the next cases, we will also consider somewhere the convection as well as different geometries. So I hope this is useful for you. Thank you very much.